Have you ever wondered why Japanese homes always seem spotless, even without anyone spending hours scrubbing every day? The secret isn't harder cleaning, it's smarter habits. Small, everyday routines that quietly stop mess before it ever has the chance to spread. Today, we're breaking down 9 Japanese cleaning habits that keep homes calm, clean, and clutter-free. Habits you can start using in your own home today. Let's get started. Number 9. Leaving shoes at the door. Most people assume removing shoes indoors is simply a cultural custom. In Japan, it is actually one of the most effective cleaning systems in the world, and it starts before you have even stepped inside. Every time you walk outside, your shoes pick up dirt, dust, bacteria, and debris from the ground. In many countries, all of that gets carried straight into the living room. Japanese households do the opposite. The moment someone enters the home, shoes stay at the genkan, a small entrance area built specifically for this transition between outside and inside. The effect is immediate. Floors stay noticeably cleaner, dust spreads far less throughout the house, and daily cleaning becomes dramatically easier, simply because the mess never gets the chance to come in. It is the clearest example of the philosophy running through this entire list. Prevent the problem. Don't fix it later. And once the front door has been handled, the next habit takes that same idea and applies it somewhere most people would never think to separate. Number 8. Dedicated toilet slippers. Imagine owning a pair of slippers that can only be worn inside one specific room. To most people outside Japan, that sounds unnecessarily complicated. In Japan, it's completely ordinary. Just outside the bathroom door, many homes keep a separate pair of slippers waiting, used exclusively the moment you step onto that tile floor. The logic behind it is simple. The bathroom floor is treated as its own hygiene zone, and whatever touches that floor should never leave it. It doesn't travel into the kitchen. It doesn't reach the bedroom. It stays exactly where it belongs. Visitors unfamiliar with the habit often forget and walk out still wearing them. An instant, good-natured giveaway that they're not used to the system. It's a tiny detail, almost invisible if you're not looking for it. But Japanese homes are full of small boundaries like this. Quiet decisions that stop contamination before it ever becomes visible. That same instinct, stopping a problem before it starts, becomes even more powerful with the next habit, one that solves a frustration nearly everyone deals with. Number 7. Everything has a home. Have you ever spent 10 frustrating minutes searching for your keys, only to find them exactly where you'd left them the very first time? The issue was never really about losing the keys. It was that the keys never had a fixed place to begin with. Japanese homes follow a rule that sounds almost too simple to work. Everything must have a home. Not most items, not the important ones, everything. Your bag has a hook. Your umbrella has a stand. Your charger has a drawer. Even small items like nail clippers or spare batteries are assigned a specific spot, however minor they seem. The benefit is that putting things away stops requiring any thought at all. There's no decision to make, no debate about where something should go. You simply return it to where it belongs, automatically, almost without noticing. And because objects stop wandering from room to room, clutter never really gets the opportunity to build up in the first place. This rule works well on its own, but it becomes far more powerful once it's paired with a second, closely related principle. Number 6. Owning only what you actually use. Here's an uncomfortable truth about most cluttered homes. The real problem usually isn't dirt. It's simply too much stuff. Broken appliances nobody's thrown away, clothes that haven't been worn in years, gadgets bought on impulse and never touched again. Because many Japanese homes are smaller than houses in other parts of the world, people learn a valuable lesson early on. every object carries a hidden cost. It takes up space, it collects dust, and eventually it becomes one more thing that has to be cleaned around. That's why many Japanese families regularly go through their belongings and remove anything they no longer use. It isn't about becoming a strict minimalist or following a trend. It's about recognizing that fewer possessions simply create fewer problems to manage. The less unnecessary clutter fills a shelf or drawer, the less effort it takes to keep that space looking clean. Once clutter has genuinely been reduced, one daily habit prevents it from quietly building back up again. Number 5. The 1-minute rule. This might be the simplest habit on the entire list, and also one of the most powerful. The rule is straightforward. If something takes less than a minute, do it right away. Hang up the jacket the second you take it off. Wipe the water off the counter after brushing your teeth. Throw away the receipt sitting in your pocket. Wash the single cup in the sink instead of leaving it there for later. Most cluttered homes don't become messy all at once. They build slowly, from dozens of tiny postponed tasks. One unwashed cup becomes 3. 3 become 10. And eventually the entire kitchen feels overwhelming, all from decisions that individually seem too small to matter. Japanese households interrupt that pattern early, dealing with these micro tasks the moment they appear, rather than saving them for a weekend deep clean. A few seconds repeated throughout the day quietly prevents hours of frustration later. It's exactly why so many Japanese homes look effortlessly tidy. They aren't spending more time cleaning. They're simply never letting the mess accumulate long enough to notice. Not every habit on this list happens inside the home, though. Some of the most disciplined systems in Japan begin the moment something is thrown away. Number 4. Sorting trash into a system. For most people, trash is simple. Everything goes into one bag, and the bag goes outside. Problem solved. Japan treats the process very differently. In many neighborhoods, household waste is separated into multiple distinct categories: burnable waste, non-burnable waste, plastic containers, PET bottles, glass, cans, and paper. Sometimes with even more specific subcategories depending on the city. At first glance, it can look needlessly complicated, but the goal was never to make life harder. It's to prevent waste from becoming a bigger problem down the line. When trash is sorted correctly from the very beginning, collection points stay cleaner, recycling becomes genuinely efficient, and unpleasant smells are kept to a minimum. Japanese residents learn early that throwing something away is really the final responsible step of owning it, not simply making it disappear. And because nearly everyone follows the same system consistently, entire neighborhoods manage to stay remarkably clean, block after block, without constant enforcement. While sorting trash keeps the environment outside the home clean, the next habit turns attention back inside, all the way down to the floor itself. Number 3. Cleaning floors on hands and knees. Most people clean floors standing upright, pushing a mop across the surface in wide, quick strokes. Japanese schools and many traditional households take a very different approach, known as zoken geik. Instead of relying entirely on a mop or a machine, people use a simple cloth and physically move across the floor on their hands and knees. At first, it looks old-fashioned, maybe even excessive for something as simple as a floor. But there's a reason this method has survived for generations. Getting physically close to the floor reveals details that are almost impossible to notice from a standing position. Dust gathered in corners, faint stains, hidden grime tucked beneath furniture. Nothing escapes attention at that distance. Many Japanese children are taught this habit at school, where students help clean their own classrooms rather than relying entirely on staff. The lesson isn't really about the floor itself. It's about taking direct responsibility for a shared space. And when that mindset carries over into the home, it creates rooms that stay clean, not because someone was forced to clean them, but because everyone quietly takes part. That same sense of ongoing responsibility shows up again in one of the most surprising habits on this list, one focused on a room most people only clean when it's already dirty. Number 2. Cleaning the toilet every single day. In many households, the toilet only gets attention once it visibly needs it, once stains or odors have already appeared. Japan approaches it from the opposite direction entirely. Do not wait for the dirt to show up. Prevent it from settling in the first place. Many Japanese households do a quick wipe down almost daily, and it is not a deep, exhausting clean. It takes only seconds, often using a single disposable cleaning sheet, a quick pass around the seat, a quick wipe of nearby surfaces, and that is the entire routine. The reasoning behind it is simple and honestly hard to argue with. Removing a small amount of dirt every day is far easier than removing a large amount later, once it has had time to build up and set in. As a result, the toilet rarely reaches the point where cleaning becomes a genuinely unpleasant chore. And because the bathroom is often seen as a quiet reflection of a home's overall cleanliness, maintaining it becomes part of maintaining the entire living space. It is a small, almost invisible habit, but it captures the Japanese approach perfectly. Solve the problem while it is still small enough to solve in seconds. That same philosophy, addressing something while it is still minor, appears one final time in the very last habit on this list. Number 1. Covering the bathtub after use. After finishing a bath, most people simply walk away and leave the water as it is. Many Japanese households do one small extra step. They close the lid over the tub. On the surface, that doesn't sound particularly meaningful, but this tiny action actually serves several practical purposes at once. First, it helps trap heat, meaning that in households where several family members bathe using the same water, it stays warm for noticeably longer. Second, it reduces evaporation, which in turn helps control humidity levels inside the bathroom, an important detail in a country where mold and moisture can become genuine problems if left unmanaged. Third, and perhaps most simply, it prevents dust and stray debris from settling into the water while it waits to be reused or drained. All of that from a single action that costs only a few seconds. And that, in many ways, sums up what makes Japanese cleaning culture so effective. These habits are rarely dramatic. They're almost never expensive. Yet, quietly and consistently, they solve everyday problems long before most people would even notice they exist. Which of these habits would you try first? Let us know below and subscribe for more Japanese lifestyle secrets.